Alright, so recently I did a video reaction to the viral video from the Fresh and Fit podcast when they said that they don't date black women, right? And I was gonna leave this topic alone, but some of the Fresh Fit fans reported my video and it got taken down off of Facebook. So I'm going to do another video and I am going to address this topic, but this time I am going to address some of the comments that I got in my reaction video. I mean, I had Fresh and Fit fans coming out of the woodworks saying all type of crazy mess trying to defend these clowns, right? So first off, let me just say, we don't care what your dating preference is. If you want to date white women, date white women. If you want to date Spanish women, date Spanish women. The problem is when you negatively stereotype black women or any race women. That's the problem. When you are talking about black women and you categorize them as Shaniquas, or you say things like, I don't get down with the brown, or I'm not a night rider. And if that wasn't bad enough, follow that up by saying, oh, I'll make an exception if she red bone. Now, a lot of you Fresh and Fit fans were all in my comments talking about it's the mentality of the black woman. It's the mentality of the black woman. But if it's about the mentality of the black woman, then why did he say he would make an exception for red bone women? Why would he make an exception for light-skinned women? If it's the mentality, it shouldn't matter what her skin tone is, right? A mentality is a mentality, no matter what your skin tone is, no matter what your race, no matter what your religion. The mentality is a mentality. So if Myron was really about what he was saying, he would not make an exception for light-skinned women. So what you have here is negative stereotypes, and then you have colorism, which is a problem. And if you guys don't see that as a problem, then, boy, y'all need some help. Y'all need some help, for real. Because that is an issue. That is an issue. So if he was to say, like, I don't really date black women like that, and just left it there, then it wouldn't have been a problem. You know, you don't have to explain to anyone, why you have a preference. If you were going to say, like, I don't really date, black women like that, fine. But why would you have to follow that up with a bunch of negative stereotypes? See, typically when you see interracial couples, typically that's something that happens organically, right? You were just looking for anyone who you can connect with, and that person just so happens to be someone outside of your race. That's typically how interracial couples form, right? They weren't looking for a particular race because they said, oh, well, that's a white woman, so she's going to be this, this, and that. Or that's a Spanish woman, so she's going to be this, this, and that. A mentality doesn't come with the race. All right? So that's an issue. But you know what I mean? Like, I can see certain things where, let's say, you're a black person that grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood, so you feel more comfortable talking with white women. I get that. Because y'all grew up in a similar environment, so you guys are going to have a shared culture there. And so because you're kind of whitewashed to a degree, you may not get along with the typical black woman. So I can understand why you would want to date outside your race in that kind of scenario. I mean, we have people like Gary Owen, who is a white comedian who is married to a black woman. But if you look at Gary Owen, he is engulfed in black culture. So because they have this shared culture, it makes sense why, he would want to date black women. And so because of the shared cultures between races, I don't blink an eye when a white person says, I don't want to date a black person. Or when a black person says that they don't want to, date outside their race, right? It makes sense why someone would want to date within their race because, one, there's a shared culture, and then two, it is natural to want your offspring to look like you. And so it really got me thinking, well, maybe these black guys who don't want to date black women, maybe part of that is that they don't want their offspring to look like them. Maybe when they were growing up, they got picked on as a kid because of their skin tone, and now they don't want their kids to have to grow up with that same type of discrimination. So they go after lighter skinned women in hopes of having lighter skinned kids. But see, the problem with that is, even if you get with a white woman, there's no guarantee that your kids are going to come out light skinned. There's no guarantee of that. And so the issue is when you take on that mindset of like, oh my God, you know what I mean? People said I wasn't beautiful and they made fun of me. Now I don't want that for my kids. When you do that, you're buying into the bullshit that black isn't beautiful. So now you are part of the problem when you buy into it and say, black men or black women, they're not this. You're buying into the bullshit. And by buying into that, you're perpetuating a negative stereotype on black people. And if you don't believe how big of an issue that is, I want you guys to check out a video called Blue Eyes, Brown Eyes by Jane Elliott, where she takes a group of blue-eyed kids, tell them that they are superior, and then she takes a group of brown-eyed kids and tell them that they are inferior. And so the result of that experiment is that the blue-eyed kids perform better and the brown-eyed kids perform worse. So basically, what that tells you is, when you tell people that they're not shit, they're not this, and you keep continuously putting them down, they will negatively perform. So by buying into the bullshit, you are part of the problem. So for me, I feel like, especially as a black man, it is our duty to love, care, and protect black women. And now that doesn't mean that as a black man, you have to date black. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you have to love, care, and protect black women. That is what I'm saying. And so when you have these clowns over here talking spicy on black women, I'm definitely going to have something to say about it. And you can report my video all you want to. I'm going to continue to have something to say about it. Because those fresh and fit dudes is clowns. And if you going to follow them, you a clown too. Do they make certain points on certain topics? Sure. But their character is trash and they've displayed it time and time again. So again, if you don't want to date black women, that is your preference. But what you're not going to do is generalize black women, negatively stereotype black women. That's not what we're going for here. So that's all I got to say on this matter. If y'all Fresh and Fit fans want to try to come and talk all crazy, underneath my video, don't argue with me, argue with your mama. All right, because that's all I got to say on this. You know what I mean? If you want to continue to be, a self-hating clown, then you can go ahead and do that. All right, this is Agree to Disagree. I'm out.